Yo, what is up guys? My name is Dominic from Dominic Talks Movies, and today I'm going to be doing a tier list of every movie that I watched in February. If that sounds interesting, let's get right into the video. Hey guys, my name is Dominic and I love to talk about movies, and today I'm going to be, as I said, making a tier list of every single movie that I watched in February. And because I wanted to make a what I watched in February video because I want to keep this going throughout the year, but I didn't really want to make it as basic as a lot of other people have it. There's nothing wrong with the way other people have it. I'm probably going to do that for the most part, but I tried recording it like 2 or 3 times the other day, and my phone, aka my camera, was just not having it at all. It just wasn't recording. It was like cutting off halfway through. It was really strange. So yeah, I was having some technical difficulties, so I decided, why not just make a tier list video, because I can just use my webcam instead. Make it a lot easier for me. So yeah, as you can see, I made myself a tier list, what I watched in February tier maker. And we have every movie here that I watched in February, not including like short films and movies that aren't out yet that I logged on Letterboxd and all that sort of stuff. These are purely just feature-length movies that I watched in February. I think there's 24 of them. Obviously, we got our tiers: S, which is like the best of the best; A, obviously really great; B is good to great-ish. There's kind of a range for these. C is okay, and D is just like not really good at all. So yeah, basically without further ado, I guess let's get right into it. These aren't actually in order, which is a little unfortunate, but it's fine. We'll work with what we got. So I guess realistically, these could be the stars. So this would be like 5-star movies. Then this would be like 4, 3, 2, 1. And then I can kind of figure out if any of them are half stars. So first, 20 Million Miles to Earth. This was a pretty good little classic sci-fi horror movie. I'm going to put it up, I guess, in B tier because it is a 3-star movie. I might move things around after depending on where some certain things are and whatnot. So yeah, I might change things around, but for now, that's going in the B tier. Cars 2. This is a movie that I actually rated, I think, the same as 20 Million Miles to Earth, but I'm probably going to bring it down a little bit just because it's a really flawed movie. Even though it's fun, it is definitely a fun movie for sure. There's no denying that. I guess some people will deny it, but I thought it was a fun movie, but it was just a little too flawed for my taste. I think it would be like a 2.5-ish probably. But yeah. Days of Heaven. This is one of the really good films that I watched. That was a 5-star movie that's going straight into the S tier. There were some great performances. The kind of like cinematography and just like the landscapes that the whole movie took place in, the setting, it was just absolutely stunning. It was gorgeous. And the story was surprisingly emotional, worked really well for me. So yeah, I had to give it 5 stars. It was a great start to Terrence Malick's filmography for me. Drive. This is a movie that started off really good, but as I kind of think more about it, the less I like it, just because there isn't much character or substance to it. I think it's really stylistic. The cinematography is absolutely gorgeous, but it's a movie that like you really like while you're watching it because of how stylistic it is, but because of the lack of substance, I really found myself not thinking about this movie after I watched it at all, other than the fact that I'm like, I don't really like this that much. So I'm gonna put it in the A tier for now. But yeah, I'm gonna keep it there for now. I'm definitely gonna rework some stuff. Fantastic Mr. Fox. I mean, that's got to be S. I'm not gonna rank them actually. I'll just put them in. But yeah, that's S tier easily. Fight Club. I'm going to get some flack for this one, but it's a C tier. I don't really like Fight Club. It's a decent movie. I think unlike my, like, so there's two really hot takes that I have, and that's Fight Club and Goodfellas. I don't really like either of those, but Goodfellas, at least I can kind of appreciate the filmmaking of it because I think it's a really well made movie. I just don't connect with it. Fight Club is just not particularly insanely made in my opinion. So it's, yeah, I just don't really like it. Groundhog Day, this was a really good movie. I'm gonna put that in the A tier. Bill Murray, I love his performances, his dry humor. The story is really original, works super well, and yeah, the direction and all that sort of stuff isn't incredible, but it's made to kind of make a good comedy. It was funny. I love the dry humor aspects. That's why I love Wes Anderson so much as well. But yeah, it was a really good movie. I really enjoyed it. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. If you guys don't know, I absolutely adore this movie. I have a ton of nostalgia for it, so maybe I'm blinded by nostalgia, but it's going straight to the S tier. I just absolutely love the movie. I'm probably going to make a Harry Potter ranked sometime soon, so you'll probably hear my full thoughts then. In the Mood for Love. This is one that I'm in between. I'm in between either A or S because this was an incredible movie. I think for now I'm going to put it in the A tier. I want to do this because it is like a high A tier. It is a really good movie, and I feel like the more I think about it and the more I rewatch it, it's probably going to move up to S tier because Wong Kar-wai makes a incredible film that, like, it's just super like deep. There's so much to unpack with it. It's super unique. I love how they do everything, and it also has incredible style and technical aspects. So it's just an amazing movie. Inside Out, another one that was pretty disappointing. But I'm still gonna put it in B tier, I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in B tier. It's not on the level of Cars 2, but it's not, I mean, it's a good movie for sure. It's just a little disappointing. I think I said this, a lot of people compare my reasoning for not liking it to a lot of people's reasoning for not liking Soul, is because they feel like in Soul they don't spend enough time on Earth. I feel like Inside Out they don't spend enough time in actually in Riley's head instead of in that weird place with like the maze and whatnot. I don't really know how to describe it too well, but yeah, like in the main part where all of the actual stuff is controlled, I feel like they left there way too early, and then the whole movie was like not about that. So yeah, it wasn't what I was expecting, and not in a really good way. John Wick, not an incredible movie, but definitely a fun action movie that has some great action sequences. It's a solid B tier movie. There's nothing too special about the filmmaking of it in my opinion. It's just a pretty entertaining movie. You know, the plot isn't anything special, but it has some amazing action for sure. So I'm going to put it in the B tier. Lessons of Darkness. This is actually a documentary by Werner Herzog, and it's very good, but I'm gonna have to put it, so I gave this one 3.5, so here is one that I have to decide between A and B. I think I'm probably gonna put it in the B tier, just purely because it wasn't like documentaries, non-fiction, that sort of stuff doesn't it doesn't interest me as much. It was definitely investing. I really liked how they did everything, but it felt a tad bit repetitive, I think. But yeah, it was a good documentary for sure. Little Women. You guys probably saw my review of this. It's 5 stars. It's S tier easily. If you guys saw my 2020 Best Picture nominees ranked, this was my favorite of the bunch. And similar to In the Mood for Love, I feel like this is one that I'm just gonna love more over time the more I watch the movie. Malcolm and Marie. This is a very divisive film from 2021. Another one that I rated 4.5 out of 5, so I have to decide between S and A. I'm gonna go with A. This is it's kind of distanced a little bit for me. It felt like I really loved it when I watched it, but then it's one that more I thought about it, the less I liked it. But I don't think it'll go any lower than A, because I feel like it's like the filmmaking and all that stuff is too good to make it like go down to this level. So yeah, I think for now it'll stay in A. I don't think it'll go up to S, and I don't think it'll go down to B. So yeah, Malcolm and Marie is a solid A tier movie for me. That rhymed. Monty Python and the Holy Grail, S tier, one of my favorite comedies of all time. It's in my opinion the funniest movie I've ever seen. The Monty Python guys are just incredible, and this time around I actually like appreciated the filmmaking of it, because Terry Gilliam, I don't really know how to pronounce his name, but yeah, he's known for a weird kind of trippy sort of style of filmmaking, and this definitely had that for sure. So yeah, this is a movie I really, really love, and it's just so rewatchable. Playtime, another S tier movie. I know I love a lot of movies, but I don't really care. Playtime's literally my second favorite film of all time. Again, another one similar to Monty Python, similar to Harry Potter, similar to basically all of these. They're just super rewatchable. Another S tier movie here, Porco Rosso. This is a really unpopular opinion, but I think I like it more than Spirited Away. I think Spirited Away is a better movie for sure, like technically speaking, but something about Porco Rosso, I just had such a fun time with it, and it's so stupid and wacky that it's actually a really good movie, and I really loved it. Scream. This is in between A and B, I would say. I think I'll go with a solid A tier. It was a fun movie for sure. The horror elements were not that amazing. They were good for sure, but I think it focused too much on like parodying the horror genre rather than just being a good horror movie. I think the one I like to compare it to is Black Christmas, is because it uses Black Christmas's phone horror trope, but I think Black Christmas does it better because Black Christmas is like one of the scariest movies I've ever seen, one of my favorite horror movies. So yeah, Scream, by no means a bad movie. This was my 500th film that I've ever seen, and it was good. It was definitely a really good movie. She's Gotta Have It. This is tough. This is another one, 4.5 out of 5. I think right now I'm putting it in the S tier. I absolutely adored this movie. It was such a good movie. I was really, really surprised by it. This is a movie that made me really excited to check out more of Spike Lee's work. I've only seen 2 of his movies, and I absolutely love both of them. The other one was Do the Right Thing. That one is definitely my number 1 because it's like one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time. But She's Gotta Have It, super surprising, pleasantly, and yeah, it's just an amazing movie that even though I've thought about it quite a bit since I watched it, it hasn't really gone down in quality at all. So it's currently sitting in the S tier. But next up, Spider-Man Far From Home. I'm gonna put this one, I'm gonna put it in A. Okay, I give it a 4.5 out of 5, but I do know that it is a pretty flawed movie for sure. So I don't think I could put it in the S tier. I don't think it's better than In the Mood for Love, but yeah, it's just a super fun movie. It has its flaws, but you know, I choose to ignore them for the most part. You know, I'm not like a bad critic because I choose to ignore them. This is a movie I want to have fun with, so I decided to not be insanely critical about it and go in doing what it was intended to do, and that is to have fun, and I absolutely had a blast with this movie. The Darjeeling Limited. This is another one, pleasantly surprising. Not quite as good as some of these other ones. I'm probably gonna put it like a high B tier because I think it's better than these movies right here, but not quite as good as these ones. It's gotten a little worse for me over time, but like barely at all. But yeah, the performances, the dry humor and dialogue, the actual like story and stuff, it all works for me. It's just not as strong as some of the other movies. Life Aquatic, another really underrated movie. That's an A tier for sure. Bill Murray gives a great performance. Owen Wilson gives a great performance. The cinematography and camera work is really, really cool. It makes it seem like they're filming a documentary about the filming of a documentary. It's really, really cool. I love how they shot this movie, and you don't actually notice until the scene where they find the jaguar shark that it's actually really beautiful storytelling, because once that hits, you actually realize that you get emotional because of that, and then you realize, hey, this movie was actually building up the character and the plot really, really well for the entire movie. So yeah, that was a very pleasantly surprising movie again. The Old Dark House. I'm gonna put this one another high B tier. It was a good 30s horror movie, directed by the same guy that did Frankenstein, actually, James Whale. It was very atmospheric, just like a lot of Universal horror, which I absolutely love. The cinematography was very, very good. The set designs were probably the best part of the movie. They were absolutely phenomenal. Acting was incredible. Boris Karloff is in this. He's good in like literally everything. But yeah, this is a very eerie and atmospheric horror movie, and I really, really liked it. And finally, The Shining. That's an S tier. One of my favorite movies of all time. Not quite my favorite Kubrick. That goes to A Clockwork Orange, but this is my second favorite horror movie of all time. It's in my top 10 movies of all time, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's just absolutely incredible. Probably the best cinematography in a horror movie. Not quite my favorite performance in a horror movie. It's so close. Like, this and Anthony Perkins in Psycho are tied for my favorite horror movie performance, and maybe even my favorite performance of all time. So yeah, The Shining, absolutely incredible movie. And quick recap, our S tier absolutely filled to the brim. Fantastic Mr. Fox, Days of Heaven, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, Little Women, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, Playtime, Porco Rosso, She's Gotta Have It, and The Shining. Our A tier, not quite as packed, but still the second most. In the Mood for Love, Drive, Groundhog Day, Malcolm and Marie, Scream, Spider-Man Far From Home, and Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. B tier, The Old Dark House, The Darjeeling Limited, 20 Million Miles to Earth, Inside Out, John Wick, and Lessons of Darkness. And C tier, we got Cars 2 and Fight Club. And that is basically it for this tier list. If you guys enjoyed, definitely make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so you're the first person to know every single time I upload a brand new video just like this. If you agree with any of my picks, let me know in the comment section. Also, let me know your top 3 favorite films that you watched this month for the first time. And yeah, that is basically it from me, guys. I will see you all in the next video.